In the ancient kingdom of Uganda, there lived a songbird. This songbird lived near a water well where many people would come to fetch water. The songbird had a very beautiful voice, and its singing surprised many villagers who dropped and crushed their pots after fetching water while concentrating on the bird's beautiful singing voice. News of the singing birds got to the king, and he could imagine a singing bird at the water well could take away his people's attention and end up shattering their pots. So after getting more evidence of that singing bird, he proposed to his people that any man who would fetch water from the water well where the singing bird is and come back without shattering his pot would marry his daughter, the beautiful princess. After the announcement, many men attempted to fetch water from the water well because they all wanted to marry the princess, but the songbird did not want to lose this challenge, and it kept on singing and men kept on shattering their pots due to loss of concentration caused by the beautiful voice of a singing bird. This is the song the bird sang. You, the man who is leaving, Kaliba. Send my greetings to the people at home, Kaliba. Tell them there is a singing bird at the water well, Kaliba. Dressed in cowrie shells, Kaliba. Cowrie shells and beads, Kaliba. Kyoki, Kaliba. Turn and look at me, Kaliba. One day a new man stepped forward for the challenge. The villagers considered him unlikely to contest due to his physical appearance, which was handicapped. He stepped forward towards the king and asked that if he would go to the water well, fetch water, and bring back the unbroken pot, would he be able to marry the princess? On hearing this, the king, queen, and the princess all laughed out loud at his face. How can a man with one leg make it, when strong men, who are physically fit, all failed? The man with one leg was patient and asked again whether they would allow him to marry their princess if he brought back the pot filled with water and not shattered. What makes you think you can do the job, that even the strong men have failed, yet you only have one leg? Asked the queen. We don't normally like to waste our time, but for the chance of some humor we will allow you to attempt. We will even give you a pot. The man collected the pot and moved towards the water well. Once he arrived, the one-legged man quickly filled the pot with water and went to put it on his head. The bird was watching his movements and started singing. You, the man who is leaving, Kaliba. Send my greetings to the people at home, Kaliba. Tell them there is a singing bird at the water well, Kaliba. Dressed in cowrie shells, Kaliba. Cowrie shells and beads, Kaliba. Kyoki, Kaliba. Turn and look at me, Kaliba. The man did not look at the bird, which made it even more persistent, and started dancing around the man's face while singing. You, the man who is leaving, Kaliba. Send my greetings to the people at home, Kaliba. Tell them there is a singing bird at the water well, Kaliba. Dressed in cowrie shells, Kaliba. Cowrie shells and beads, Kaliba. Kyoki, Kaliba. Turn and look at me, Kaliba. The bird started flying over him, trying to cause him to lose his balance so that he could smash his pot. But the man was very focused on the pot he was carrying on his head and paid no attention to the destructive bird. The man made off towards the village. The king spotted the man with one leg in a distance with a pot of water on his head, and he stopped smiling, as did the queen. The princess started crying as the man approached towards the royal family with his pot full of water on the head, and then proposed to the princess and asked her to be her wife. Meanwhile, she was still crying, and the king could not go back on his word and agreed that the man with one leg could marry his daughter. The moral of this story is basically on the issue of don't judge a book by its cover. In other words, don't judge people based on their physical appearance.